Do you sometimes feel tormented by something, some state of mind, an event, a situation, and you get emotional and you don't know what to do and how to make it pass, how to get back to feeling just fine, unbothered, and calm again? Every time we find ourselves in any sort of distress, there is always one or several underlying emotions responsible for how we feel. So, learning about emotions in general, what are they? Why are they here? And how can we regulate our moods is really a very precious skill. So, what are the emotions? Simply put, emotions are reactions. They are our reactions to the environment, to life, and if the environment is good for us, our emotions will be positive. We will feel good and joyful, and if, however, life influences us in a negative way, our emotions will also reflect that. We can become upset, feel down, be angry, or scared. Can we choose not to have unpleasant emotions at all? Unfortunately, no, we cannot. We do not choose what reaction will happen. It is a biological process. Emotions just happen, as let's say sneezing or yawning. It's biology. But what we can't do is learn how to regulate them and stabilize ourselves. Emotional regulation consists of three practical steps. Step number one is learning to self-tune, recognize current emotion, name it, and establish its intensity. And do all that without judgment and with full acceptance. Step number two, learning to listen to the emotion's message to us. And this part often gets overlooked while being essential, because emotions carry vital information about our environment, and they do have a purpose and a meaning and a message. Evolutionary speaking, emotions are here to really ensure our survival, just like reflexes. And step number three, if you experience the same difficult emotion over and over again, you might need to learn how to change it, to change your reactions. It might not be possible to completely avoid difficult emotions, but you can learn how to make them less intense and less long. But it should only be done when step one and two have fully taken place. So for now, let's discuss first two steps. So, step number one, learning to self-tune, recognize current emotion, name it, and establish its intensity. And we do all that without judgment and with full acceptance. So, these days we hear a lot about getting in touch with our emotions, but how can we actually do it? Through self-observation. Self-observation is a skill, and anyone can master it. And for starters, I will suggest this very simple and very accessible technique. Get yourself comfortable in a calm, private setting. Inhale and exhale with awareness several times. As you do so, notice what is happening in your body. Perhaps your chest feels hot or your neck is tense. Maybe you feel spasm in your belly or tension in your legs. Just observe. And then ask yourself, what emotion or emotions am I feeling now? Are you feeling sad or angry? Or maybe are you feeling fearful? Stress and fatigue are not emotions, by the way. They are states that can be broken down to basic emotions. And at our very core, we all have 5 basic emotions: joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. If you can't find and identify any of these, it doesn't matter. Name any emotional state that resonates with you right now. And after naming it, ask yourself, On a scale from 1 to 10, how strong is my emotion? For example, you say, I feel confused, and on a scale from 1 to 10, it's a 7. Or I feel annoyed, and on a scale from 1 to 10, it's an 8. And sometimes you will feel like on a scale from 1 to 10, you're like 100. And that's okay. Just accept it, say it out loud, and you're feeling it anyhow. You're just making things better by making them conscious. And this scale gives you the opportunity to dig deeper into yourself and to understand how you really feel, and even better than after just naming the emotion. Now, step number 2. Learning to listen to the emotion's message to us. And I can't stress enough how important and essential this part is. As we've said already, emotions could be compared to reflexes. They happen for a reason, it's the reaction to the environment, and it aims at saving our lives, really. From evolutionary standpoint, emotions are adaptational mechanisms. Because emotion carries something vital. Information. Information about whether something is good or bad for us. Should we approach or flee something? It is sort of our guideline system that gives us green or red light about circumstances and people around. Let's do the examples. Let's say you're feeling jealous. On a scale from 1 to 10, it's an 8. Question that you should ask yourself is really simple. Why am I feeling jealous? What is this jealousy trying to tell me? Is my partner's behavior bothering me? If yes, then you should voice your concerns and establish clear boundaries. Say, this behavior is not okay for me. Or, is jealousy telling you that you are feeling insecure mostly about yourself? And by the way, jealousy is more often than not about our own insecurities. And in that case, there is a need to work on your own self-esteem and feelings of self-value. Or it can be both, But hear the message of your emotion and take action, or at least plan the action that you should take. Or let's say you feel scared and angry before or after work, and it's a solid 9 or even 15. What are fear and anger trying to tell you? Are they sending you a signal that your boss may be bullying you, but you refuse to truly acknowledge it? Then fear and anger are telling you that your work environment is not safe for you and that your boundaries are being systemically violated. You can either start looking for another job or choose to stand up for yourself and, express yourself directly to your boss, or maybe you can go to the HR. But either way, your emotions are signaling you that something is deeply off and that there is a need to take some action. But it's not always about an action in the world. Sometimes it's about an action towards our own points of view and our beliefs. For example, let's say someone feels shame because they failed an exam and it's a 10. In this case, it would be what I call a dysfunctional shame, meaning it is not justified, unlike, let's say, feeling shame when you spy on someone, that would be justified. But what is the message of this dysfunctional shame? It is happening anyway. Why? It's messaging you that you do not allow yourself failure. And a failure is an unavoidable part of life. So to stop feeling shame, you need to normalize and accept the notion of failure and explain to yourself that it is okay to fail and you have right to not succeed and that there is nothing to be ashamed of. Feel your emotions. Don't neglect them. Don't deny them. Don't suppress them. Don't avoid getting in touch with them. Now, once you have gone all the way, identifying the emotion, heard its message and decided what action to take, at some point you will have to start distracting yourself, like watching a movie or talking to a friend or reading a book. Don't get too attached to your current state. Don't ruminate. Don't stew in it for too long. Do something that interests you. Switch your attention to something else. And then gradually, the process of auto-regulation will begin. The emotions are really like waves. They rise, and just like waves, they redescend back into the shore when it's time and if you have processed them properly. The only emotion that might need additional measures to be processed is anger, in all its forms, like rage, fury, or strong frustration. Anger is a hot emotion. It is steam-like and it must be let out. So the ecological way to do that would be to move. Cleaning the apartment, going for a run, lifting weights. Any physical activity that will utilize the charge anger provides. In the next video, I'll talk about the step 3, learning how to change your emotions. So subscribe and stay tuned. That is all for today. Practice self-observation, recognizing your emotions, practice understanding the message of your emotions, and start feeling more regulated. And as always, do not forget to be kind to yourself.